Welcome to Token Topics. Stellar XLM is the topic of this video. We're going to dive into some latest news and listen to some clips from the Stellar Development Foundation's quarter in review. Also, Danielle Dixon's happy to announce a new podcast called Block by Block. We'll look into that. Also, is Lobstr wallet safe? I'll go over that topic. Also, Sam from Stellar Global has been very busy. We're going to see what he's up to. And remember, I'm not your financial advisor. Invest at your own risk. I'm just documenting my journey into the wild west of digital assets and cryptocurrencies and blockchain. If you are an XLM fan, please do hit the like and subscribe for fresh content. Let's go ahead and dive in. First topic of the video, I get asked this quite a bit, is the Lobstr wallet safe? The answer is absolutely, it's 100% safe. I've even seen people out there state that it's a scam wallet, and that is false. Plus, it was chosen by the SDF for MGI pilot demo with MoneyGram. So the SDF, the Stellar Development Foundation, actually used Lobstr wallet as an example in this video I'm about to show you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jake Urban and I'm a senior software engineer here at the SDF. Today I'm going to show you how to cash in and cash out of USDC using MoneyGram and the Lobstr wallet. I should note that this is a pilot for Lobstr, MoneyGram, and SDF employees, but this will be available publicly in 2022. Let's get started. As you can see, I'm at the home page of the Lobstr mobile app, and I'm going to open up the sidebar menu and select Buy USDC. Lobstr has now opened up a MoneyGram hosted deposit window, and I'm going to deposit $200 cash to get 200 USDC on Stellar. I'm currently in Minnesota, so I'll select that for the state. Next, I'll need to find a MoneyGram cash agent I can use to drop off cash, so I'll enter my zip code and see what's close by. Looks like there's one about a mile away. MoneyGram is showing my details of my transaction, and since it all looks good, we're just going to continue. And now since I've already entered my KYC details in a prior transaction, MoneyGram allows me to update my address if necessary, but I don't have to here, so we're just going to keep moving. Now I need to enter my ID number, which will be checked by a MoneyGram agent when I arrive at the location to drop off cash. This is an important step because MoneyGram uses your ID to match with the transaction. So whenever you go to a MoneyGram location, make sure you bring your ID with you. And here's a summary of the transaction. You can see that I'll be providing cash and receiving 200 USDC on Stellar. This looks good, so I'm just going to submit the transaction. And we're done. Now I can go to the MoneyGram location I selected, show my ID, and drop off my cash. I'll see USDC in my wallet before I even leave the agent location.
That is pretty wild, and that is definitely a game changer. You don't even need a bank for that whole process. Now, when it comes to storing my XLM long term, the Decent Biometric Wallet is the top choice. It's where I store my XLM. I don't keep it on the Lobstr wallet. When I'm storing it, that's a different story. I use a Decent Biometric Wallet. I'm going to put an affiliate link in the description below where you can receive a special discount. Keep in mind that you can purchase XRP through the wallet. Now we're going to hear some words from Danielle Dixon and others from the Stellar Development Foundation on quarter one in review. So this past quarter, we're going to hear some words on what's going on.
Welcome to the first quarter in review for 2022. So we started the year off strong with the new roadmap and some exciting progress. And I'm going to recap some of the highlights here before I turn it over to Tomer to get into some of the details on the network stats. We saw the total number of payments on Stellar grow by 509.08% year on year, with 151 million payments made this quarter compared to 24.8 million in Q1 last year. That's a big jump. And Tomer will cover this a bit more later, but the key takeaway here, more and more businesses and people are using the network to process payments, which is really cool. So we announced the first cohort of our four matching fund investments totaling 1.5 million and 92.5 million distributed in overall enterprise fund investments since its launch. Two new projects were announced, Project Jump Cannon, which we're going to spend some time on today, native on-chain smart contracts for Stellar, and Starbridge, a trust minimized integration between Stellar and Ethereum, also very important for us. The Stellar Community Fund, a program that offers anyone building on Stellar the chance to get support and funding based on community input, is currently in its 10th round, which is crazy to me. There was a larger number of applications than ever before and last year, with over 1,500 community members actively involved. So with your engagement, I know SCF can reach even new heights this year. And believe it or not, we celebrated 1 year of USDC on the Stellar network, which has been game-changing for so many of you building on Stellar. USDC with Stellar capabilities brought more opportunities for fintechs, wallets, exchanges, and developers to power fast, seamless, and more affordable cross-border solutions. All of these achievements are thanks to the companies, developers, and community members leveraging the network to greater financial innovation on a global scale. Thank you for making it all possible. So in a lot of ways, we're seeing that the new roadmap is already guiding us in a really good, powerful, strong direction. I previewed the roadmap at the end of last quarter's call, which is made up of 3 strategic building blocks. So first, we're going to increase network scalability and network innovation. Second, we'll activate more network participation. And third, we're going to demand and promote diversity and inclusion. So this roadmap takes us in one direction, making Stellar the network for interoperability between traditional and modern financial rails. The 3 building blocks will help us create a more engaged, differentiated ecosystem, take Stellar innovation to new heights, and increase Stellar's competitive advantage by exploiting its current strengths while developing new ones. This is all in service to one ambitious goal, which is achieving our mission to create equitable access to the global financial system. So let's dive in.
Add some more context. Let's look at the figures that connect directly to SDF's mission, which is to create equitable access to the global financial system. Relevant assets are assets that represent real financial instruments. These are fiat currency, for example, like Mexican pesos or US dollars. Focusing on these assets help us gauge how well Stellar is connecting to global financial systems. Last year, the total number of these assets stood at 79, with a transaction volume for the quarter amounting to $53 million. As of Q1 2022, the total number of relevant assets has increased to 87 assets, and on-network transaction volume of these assets grew by almost 36%. The last set of metrics are focused on operational stats. So first, let's look at average ledger close time. This clocks in at about 6 seconds. So even with the significant increase in network activity, the network continues to grow quickly, consistently, and reliably. The total number of nodes are at 144.
Now, SDF's focus on CBDC policy advocacy also continued during the quarter. We relaunched a white paper, Understanding CBDCs, a guidebook for regulators and policymakers, highlighting the benefits of issuing a CBDC on an open network. We held a webinar for central bank and policymaker audiences with a panel of expert speakers, and our COO, Jason Chapala, authored an op-ed in CoinDesk, making the case for what we should and should not expect from CBDCs. SDF was also invited by the European Central Bank to hold a closed session at an expert level with the Digital Euro team. The policy team continues to participate in speaking engagements on cross-border payments and CBDCs hosted by a range of international organizations and across the industry. In February, our Chief Legal Officer, Candace Kelly, spoke on an expert panel at the Digital Currency Conference about the technical approach and design of CBDCs. So the attention and discussion around crypto policy this quarter indicates that more policymakers than ever are paying serious attention and engaging on a deeper level, which is great. And nothing really highlights that more than the Biden administration issuing the long-awaited executive order outlining a whole-of-government approach to cryptocurrency policy. The executive orders call for agencies across the government to study and report back on the stated priorities has given a great opportunity for SDF leadership to engage.
All right, next topic is Danielle Dixon. She is one successful and busy lady. On her recent SDF blog, she reflects on 3 years as CEO and head of the Stellar Development Foundation. I'm going to put the link to this article down below. 3 is a magic number. More great news is that Danielle Dixon is now going to have her own podcast called Block by Block. Give a listen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Block by Block. I'm Danelle Dixon, CEO and Executive Director of the Stellar Development Foundation. Well, it's hard to believe that I'm launching a podcast. Those are not words I thought I'd ever say. But here we are. And with our first official episode dropping in a couple weeks, I wanted to take a minute to introduce myself and share why we decided to create Block by Block. Crypto is going mainstream, changing the way we spend, build, and connect. I work in the industry, so executing on the applications and impact of this technology is where my head is day in and day out. But more recently, it's spilled over into other parts of my life. Friends and family are hearing about crypto in the news or seeing how it's shaping services they're already using, and they're asking me more and more questions about it. Things move fast in this space, and I want to help you stay ahead of the curve. Block by Block is going to dive into timely topics at the intersection of crypto, tech, and society. I'll sit down with a different expert each episode and pick their brains on how crypto and blockchain are shaping their corner of the world. But before full episodes get underway, I thought it would be helpful to share a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Gilroy, California. When I was growing up, my parents told me continuously that I could do and be whatever I wanted if I worked hard, maintained a strong moral compass, and a commitment to not letting the small stuff get me down. So when in the third grade, I saw a made-for-TV movie with a strong female lead as a trial lawyer in a courtroom, it clicked almost instantaneously. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up, a trial lawyer. With supportive parents behind me, my dreams always felt within reach. Now, things have obviously migrated from what my original dreams were, but that spirit has stuck with me and gave me the courage to follow a career path that has taken me in unexpected directions, working on many topics that I couldn't have imagined when I was a girl or even when I started out in law. My legal career exposed me to people and issues that sparked new passions for me, like net neutrality, encryption, the disclosure of vulnerabilities by governments, greater focus on user choice and control, and just the web in general. Going from different players in technology, Yahoo to Mozilla, and now to the Stellar Development Foundation, I've seen the development and evolution that's gotten us to the Web3 we're building today. What I've been afforded in my career is a seat at the table through the evolution of the web, from Web 1, Web 2, and now to this new frontier of Web 3. And often I was the only woman at the table, which gives me a completely different perspective. This podcast is going to touch on all of these things. I'll talk with people working in tech, policy, finance, and more. We'll dive into crypto's developments while also looking at it through the broader context of tech, mainstream culture, and current events. We'll talk about what's working in our industries and what's not. We'll shine a light on where we need to push for progress. We'll talk about how we're working to challenge norms and change the status quo, block by block. We've got some incredible guests lined up. I can't wait to share it all with you. Stay tuned for launch later in May.
All right, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on these episodes. I'll put the link to this down below. Next on the list, if you're a developer, startup, or full-fledged company in the blockchain space, we've got funding for you. The Stellar Community Fund. Listen in.
Hi all, my name is Anke Liu and I lead programs at the Stellar Development Foundation, including the Stellar Community Fund, which is an open application grant program for Stellar-based projects to receive support and funding based on community input. So yearly, 12 million lumens are awarded, and already hundreds of developers, entrepreneurs, and companies across the globe have already been supported through the SCF and its predecessor. So today I'm going to show you a quick overview of what the SCF is and how to apply to get started. So first of all, the SCF is open to all kinds of submissions, and that's really the beauty of the SCF. From post-hackathon projects that are just getting started to full-fledged projects with real-world users that are looking to scale. It gives builders an opportunity to present projects to the broader Stellar community for feedback, and it also gives the community an opportunity to weigh in on which projects they think deserve Lumen grants. Currently, we're in SCF 10 in the submission phase, which means that you have until May 22nd end of day to apply and submit your project to the SCF.
So May 22nd is the deadline. I'm going to put the link to that down below. All right, if you're an XLM fan, you should be following Sam on Twitter. Now, Sam is the founder of Stellar Global Discord, and he's also Lightman Strategic Advisor. He's always putting out great information about Stellar, always keeping you up to date on what's going on with the NFT world with Lightman. So I'm going to put the link to his Twitter down below so you can follow him. He's also on Spotify, so he has a podcast. Now, Sam just retweeted this about Pendulum. So market conditions like these make yield farming via stablecoins all the more attractive. Soon on Pendulum, you'll be able to enjoy the highest security standards and lucrative yield in our fiat-focused DeFi services. Now, if you're wanting to learn more about what Pendulum is, give this a listen.
This is Thorsten, CTO at Satoshi Pay. I'm really excited to be at Meridian and present our new product, Pendulum, to the Stellar community. Pendulum is a blockchain that aims to connect fiat to DeFi and bring DeFi products to the traditional finance world, which includes foreign exchange, cross-border payments, lending and borrowing, savings, and many other products. And Stellar is a perfect breeding ground for such a use case. It has more than 15 stablecoins and is closely connected to the world of traditional finance and banking with its multiple anchors. We're really excited to collaborate with the Stellar ecosystem, and we think that Pendulum can also bring a lot of value to the Stellar community. First of all, Pendulum brings smart contracts to Stellar, which is already a huge step for Stellar developers.
Great information there. I'm going to put the link to this down below so you can give it a listen. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and put your comments and thoughts down below. Share with friends and family. I want to say thank you everyone for watching another edition of Token Topics. You all take care out there.